The room froze when the CEO ordered security to remove her. Glasses stopped clinking. Smiles vanished. Phones lifted. In that glittering ballroom, a black woman was being erased in real time, questioned, exposed, and publicly dismissed as if she didn't belong. What no one understood was that the empire celebrating itself that night was breathing on borrowed money, money she controlled. While arrogance performed on stage, consequences were already moving, and within minutes, a single decision would turn applause into panic and power into public collapse. The ballroom shimmered with polished confidence. Crystal glasses chimed. Laughter drifted between tables filled with people accustomed to being obeyed. This was where power gathered to congratulate itself. And at the center of it all stood Victoria Hale, CEO of Hale Dominion Capital, the evening's host, smiling as though the room existed by her permission. Then her voice cut through the air. "Security, please escort this woman out. This event is invitation only." The sound vanished instantly. Every head turned. A black woman stood near the back of the ballroom, composed and still, her face unreadable. Phones rose almost instinctively. Whispers rippled outward. She did not argue. She did not flinch. She simply remained where she was as two guards began moving toward her. No one noticed the slim black portfolio resting against her chair. No one realized the evening had already begun to unravel. Her name was Danielle Cross, and she had not come to obscene. She had come to observe. For years, Danielle had learned that the fastest way to understand a room was to enter it quietly and let people reveal who they believed mattered. Tonight was no different. She arrived alone, took a seat without assistance, and watched how respect was distributed long before credentials were checked. She noticed who received warm greetings, who was ignored, who was questioned, and now she was being questioned. Victoria stepped forward with polished confidence every inch the woman used to command. "This summit is reserved for principal investors and founding partners," she said smoothly. "There must be some confusion." Danielle met her gaze calmly. "There isn't." A soft ripple of amusement passed through nearby tables. Victoria smiled thinly. "Then perhaps you're accompanying someone else. An associate? A guest?" The implication landed cleanly. "You are not the one." Danielle said nothing. Victoria exhaled with performative patience and gestured again. The guards closed in. That was when a young staff member rushed toward Victoria. Tablet clutched tight, eyes wide. She leaned in and whispered urgently. Victoria's expression shifted, subtle but unmistakable. Her eyes flicked from the screen to the portfolio near Danielle's chair, then back to the screen. Her smile cracked. "Stand down." Victoria snapped sharply. The guard stopped at mid-step. Confusion rippled through the ballroom. Danielle stepped forward slowly, lifting the portfolio and opening it just enough for the insignia inside to catch the chandelier light. A few people inhaled sharply. Some recognized it immediately. She turned toe-faced the room. "My name is Danielle Cross," she said, voice steady, carrying effortlessly. "I am the founding managing partner of Meridian Horizon Capital." A murmur surged through the crowd. Meridian Horizon, Danielle continued, is the private equity firm that finalized a $3.4 billion capital stabilization package for Hale Dominion Capital 6 months ago. The air thinned. Victoria's posture stiffened as the realization landed. The deal, the lifeline, the reason her company had survived. Danielle did not look at her yet. "I attended quietly this evening," she said, "to observe the culture of leadership within the organizations my firm supports." She paused. What I observed was a room comfortable with exclusion, a leadership style that questions presence before verifying substance, and a willingness to humiliate publicly under the banner of protocol. Screens around the ballroom flickered, then changed. A formal notice replaced the sponsor logos. Funding suspended, oversight initiated, effective immediately. Phones lit up across the room in unison. Executives froze. Conversations collapsed into frantic whispers. Chairs scraped back. Victoria stepped forward, her voice tight. "This is an overreaction. We can address this privately." Danielle finally looked at her. "Respect is not a private correction," she said calmly. "It is a public standard." She turned back to the room. Meridian Horizon Capital has exercised its contractual authority to suspend all active funding to hail Dominion Capital. A full governance review has already been completed. Its findings will be released by morning. Shock rolled through the ballroom like a wave. This is not retaliation, Danielle continued. It iced accountability. Victoria opened her mouth to respond, but the room no longer belonged to her. Authority had slipped away the moment she decided who did and did not Desavito stand there. Danielle closed her portfolio. You assume power before confirming truth, she said evenly. That assumption just ended your control. She turned and walked toward the exit. The N01 stopped her. By morning, the fallout was public. Markets reacted. Board members issued statements. Senior executives resigned. Analysts called it unprecedented. Industry leaders called it overdue. Danielle gave no interviews. She returned to her work quietly, continuing to deploy capital with precision and intent. Backing leadership that understood authority was not proven through exclusion, because real power does not raise its voice in ballrooms that IT watches. It waits, and when it decides a system no longer deserves support, it withdraws and lets the collapse speak for itself. If watching arrogance crumble under quiet authority moved you, don't let it end here. Like this video to support stories that expose hidden power. Share it with someone who believes respect should never be conditional, and comment the moment that hit you hardest. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories where dignity wins and loud injustice collapses.